Why would you be in such a celebratory mood about the execution of another human being? Aren't you supposed to be on the caring, sharing left?
I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
But why not?
And,
why are you laughing?
I think it wouldn't fix the
You seem to find the whole thing
system.
hilarious. And said she felt joy because she suddenly realized how
Piers,
bad it
why
sounded.
don't you listen to that clip again? I didn't feel joy in that moment. I felt joy that people are paying attention to this issue.
I know what joyful means. It fills you with joy.
Yes, I'm joyful that people are paying attention to this issue.
No, you were joyful that he got murdered.
And that's exactly when you cut me off. And if you let me finish, okay, I feel joy.
What's going on, guys? We got to talk about Piers Morgan, okay? He just brought on this cowardly guest, a lady who I am no fan of, former Washington Post and New York Times reporter. Speculation of whether or not she got fired from Washington Post, Taylor Lorenz. Okay, now this is a weirdo leftist, and when I say weird, I mean weird. For those who don't know, this is the person who is responsible for basically exposing and doxing lives of TikTok creator. Okay, so no one knew who this person was, who was behind the account, until Taylor Lorenz published a story and doxed this individual. Now, today, Taylor Lorenz has been going on a tear on places like Blue Sky, where a bunch of radical leftists reside, where they have their radical left echo chamber, and she and many others are out here celebrating the tragic death of this husband and father of two, and I guess former CEO at this point, Brian Thompson, because some coward decided to shoot them in the back. Now, Piers Morgan is not happy about this at all. He has a similar sentiment to me, where now I'm not going to say for sure. I understand some people are upset about the whole insurance situation. I've had issues with insurance. There's been times when I haven't had health insurance at all, and I've been very sick and been brought to the brink because I didn't have health insurance. But I don't think the solution for me is, well, I don't have insurance, I want to kill everybody. I feel like that's just ridiculous, and it's what crazy people think. And so I don't agree with that at all. And I'm definitely seeing more people, like some people don't want to angle it as a right-left issue. I think that the insurance issue is not a right-left issue, but I think that the people who agree with violence to solve their problems, in this case, is more so people on the left. Go to Blue Sky and see for yourself, guys, or go on the Elon Musk X, and you will see. It's a bunch of people with rainbows and he, hims, and a bunch of pronouns and a bunch of nonsense in their profiles who are supporting killing and celebrating this person's tragic death. Now, Piers Morgan go ahead and digs up the booty of this radical leftist and former Washington Post and New York Times reporter Taylor Lorenz, and I loved every second of this. I didn't see the whole thing. I'm going to go ahead and react to it with y'all. Let's get into it.
I'm just curious why your first reaction would be to his cold-blooded execution, and people wonder why we want these executives dead. Why would you be in such a celebratory mood about the execution of another human being? And then you later commented when people were giving you a lot of blowback, I'm not alone, you said. Healthcare executive down with party balloons was on a next post that you commented on. Aren't you supposed to be on the caring, sharing left where, you believe in the sanctity of life?
I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it feels like...
Serious?
I mean...
Joy in a man's execution?
Maybe not joy, but certainly not, certainly not empathy. Because again,
we're watching the footage.
Now you want to deny it. First, when she gets a negative reaction, she does it. This is what cowards do, guys. She gets a negative reaction. Well, maybe it wasn't joy. She clearly has a big old grin. She has a shit-eating grin and is clearly happy about it. Just, not that it's okay, but just speak your truth. That we're not going to like it, but don't be a coward. Don't be a loser. Just speak your ugly truth.
How can this make you joyful? This guy's a husband, he's a father, and he's being gunned down in the middle of Manhattan. Why does that make you joyful?
Of Americans that be murdered, innocent Americans who died because greedy health insurance executives like this one push policies of denying care.
Guys, a healthcare claim denial is not the equivalent of murder.
Should they all be killed then? Should they all be killed, these healthcare executives? Would that make you even more joyful?
No, that would not.
But why not?
And,
why are you laughing?
I think because, I find your question funny.
A bloke's been murdered in the street. I don't find it funny at all.
Because it wouldn't fix the system.
You seem to find the whole thing hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't find it funny that tens of thousands of Americans die every year and because they are denied life-saving health care from people like the CEO. Now, I want to fix the system.
So the CEO personally looks at every single claim and decides, hot blonde, she gets to live. Old granny, she dies. Young child, let's see what race they are. Black, just kill them. Who cares about black kids? This is what this idiot is acting like is happening. Like there's like a death list and he just makes an arbitrary determination. Guys, this is just ridiculous.
Right. We shouldn't be going around shooting each other with vigilante justice because you have not dealt, it sounds like, with the American healthcare system in the way that millions of other Americans have.
I've dealt with the healthcare system, but the idea that I would view it as something...
Have you been denied life-saving treatment?
The idea that I would view it as something joyful that a man who's just a healthcare executive, has been executed in the street, I find completely bizarre.
And by the way, let me
hang on, Taylor, I'll come back to you.
Okay, don't say I'm joyful. I said
you said you were feeling joyful.
That's what you said.
Yeah, I take that back.
Yeah,
sure,
I'd say it
is vindicated, celebratory, because again, it feels like justice in this system. Joyful is the wrong word, Piers.
You think?
But I said, as I clarified,
you think?
Yeah.
You think joyful is the wrong word? Yeah.
When somebody responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of Americans.
How is celebratory better than joyful? This is Looney Tune brain.
Celebrate the murder of a husband and a father simply because you disagree with his position at a company is quite frankly sick, twisted, and disgusting. Why you'd celebrate anybody's murder, especially just an innocent man who you happen to disagree with, is really shocking to me. But it also just goes to show that the left and many on the left have a tendency to believe that violence like this, political violence, is necessary. It's a means to an end. And if they believe in the end and they believe in the means, it's really sick and wrong. The loving and tolerant left is at it again, Piers.
Yeah, Taylor, I don't mean to be rude, but why the fuck are you laughing all the time? I don't get it.
Oh.
Sorry, apologies for my language, but honestly, I find it unbelievable. What are you laughing at?
I am laughing at Tommy's insane mischaracterization of why people are angry. We should not necessarily go around shooting people in the street. And while I am joyful that this issue has been brought to attention,
did you hear that, Piers? Not necessarily.
It's just unbelievable.
United Healthcare will just appoint a new ghoulish CEO. The point is that...
Yeah, exactly. They're going to appoint another CEO. So how does this help? If anything, will more of these executive types just go into hiding? Sure. But is this going to just force them to be more empathetic and provide more care? No.
Let me bring in Mark on this. I mean, Mark, I'm sorry, but there's just no justification for laughing your way through a segment like this, talking about how joyful you were that this happened. Is there?
Again, Piers, I'm not joyful that it happened.
Sorry, Taylor, I'm asking Mark, not you. As you know, this show keeps receipts. We all know what we saw, and we all know what we heard.
I'm not denying that I said it, but I'm denying that your interpretation of it, which is an insane.
Well, I know what joyful means.
What?
Well, then stop.
I heard you. You said it. You may have recanted it, but unfortunately,
no, I'm clarifying it because
unfortunately,
again,
as you know, you were
yes,
joy.
I'm joyful that people are paying attention to this issue.
No, you were joyful that he got murdered. That's what you said.
I am.
Then you realised what you said. Then you realised what you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm clarifying it for you.
And you thought, that's going to make things even worse for me. Mark, let me bring you in. Because most Americans do not think they felt joy in that moment. It's you.
No, because again, I didn't feel joy in that moment. I felt joy that people were paying attention to this issue.
You told me you did.
Again, you're misinterpreting. No,
I tell you what, just to clarify.
Just to jump in.
Do you want me to play it again? Do you want me to
Piers,
remind
you can repeat what I said all I want, but again, you're misrepresenting
Don't
my
worry.
views. I am telling you how I feel.
Social media will
If
remind you later. Don't worry about it.
Stop misquoting me.
No, I quoted you directly. You then recanted
Well,
it.
then
Mark.
stop misrepreting my views and my feelings.
I'm
think it's
not.
about
You
my
felt
views.
joyful, then you wished you hadn't said it because you knew how bad it sounded.
No, Piers. No, Piers.
I
don't
quoted
feel
you
joyful.
directly.
Trump tweets and or whatever social, whatever it's called, false social.
Called truth.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
there
you know,
go.
there's the stuff that comes out of his mouth is exactly this kind of stuff.
Tommy, it was Donald Trump's fault that this deranged lunatic executed the healthcare executive. Nobody else. Trump.
But there's just the obsession that everything has to be Trump's fault. Of course, everything bad that happens is blamed upon Donald Trump. But this shtick is getting old, Piers, because we've got Donald Trump not only winning an election, winning the popular vote.
So we've got the clip, and we'll just play it back just to remind you.
I do believe in the sanctity of life, and I think that's why I felt, along with so many other Americans, joy, unfortunately, because it
Joy?
feels like,
Serious?
I mean, don't say that I feel joy in the man's death. I said, I feel joy because, and that's exactly when you cut me off. And if you let me finish,
Bullshit.
I would say, I feel
Facts.
joy.
Bullshit.
Oh, bullshit, Piers. You don't know what was in my
that's
head,
not.
Piers.
That's not. She's right. She's right, Piers.
Bullshit. Mark, I don't know why you're going out of your way to defend her, mate.
She actually said, "I feel joy," and then you interrupted her there. Perhaps I don't know what she was going to say.
That's cap, and you know.
Would you like to apologise for using the word joy?
Again, if you take the word joy completely out of
It
context from
wasn't
the word
taken
that
out
I
of
said
context. Would you like
it
to?
was because
Would you like to
I'm so glad
apologise?
you
Yes
just
or
played
no?
the clip.
Oh my
Yes
God.
or no?
You just played the clip that showed that I feel joy because people like you, who are rich and powerful and on TV and have all the access to all the healthcare privileges in the world, are finally being forced to pay attention to the barbaric healthcare system that murders tens of thousands of innocent Americans.
Yeah, I knew it would be my fault as well at some stage.
Wow, what a freaking mess this is. And you see how this cowardly person is trying to pretend as though, oh, no. I wasn't saying that I felt joy in the death. Well, I mean, all you got to do is take a look at this person's X account, their Blue Sky, their personal statements, including on this show, to put the freaking pieces together. Like, how much denial can you possibly do? Anybody got time for that? Like, nobody's feeling stupid. I agree with Piers Morgan. He called bullshit, and I'm calling it too, because this lady is a raving lunatic. And I'm glad that she got exposed on today's show on a humongous platform, and the clips are going to be all over the internet. So maybe she'll know what it's like to be in fear. Maybe somebody will want retribution against her. I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm not going to say anybody should do that. As a matter of fact, I hope that nobody does. But this seems like something that she supports in terms of other people feeling that way. And you know the saying, what goes around comes around. Those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Don't say that I feel joy in the man's death. I said, I feel joy because, and that's exactly when you cut me off. And if you let me finish, I would say, I feel joy.
Bullshit.
Oh, bullshit, Piers. You don't know what was in my head, Piers.
That's not. She's right. She's right, Piers.
Bullshit.